I mean, managers perform no value-added function. Basically, one of the focuses of any agile method, which would be Scrum or SAFe or extreme programming, whichever flavor of agile you use, the focus of it is communication. The whole point of an agile method is that open and free communication between the two parties, the user and eventual customer, and the IT programmers that are striving to meet their needs. The companies that only kind of half implement agile, and basically they're implementing a lot of the terminology like we're going to have daily Scrum meetings, or we're going to have a feature list rather than a requirements list. What they end up doing is literally seeing the good concepts that are in agile, and in seeing those good concepts they want to implement them. But agile is a whole lot more than just implementing items or things about the method. It's more about an entire philosophy. There's ritual involved. There's specific processes that you follow that keep pushing that agile envelope forward, help the participants in agile continue to learn and continue to grow in that method and get used to the free and open communication, get used to the idea that we might be going left today, but we might go right tomorrow because we found out something. All of a sudden, something might become more critical or important, so we readjust what our feature list looks like, and we're going to do one feature now rather than doing it number 10 that we had decided the previous day. It's a whole lot more than just holding a Scrum meeting. It's literally a whole process. Well, part of the rituals is that the daily meeting is a stand-up meeting, okay? And let's be literal about it. People come to the meeting, they're not allowed to sit down, okay? In other words, the meeting's only supposed to be long enough to get a touch base on everything going on, get a pulse, get an idea of progress being made, get an idea of roadblocks that need to be helped move out of the way. Literally, a Scrum meeting is supposed to be that, a stand-up meeting. People, you get together, you touch base, you go back to work, okay? Those quickly devolve into sit-down meetings that last an hour and 2 hours and so forth, and eventually gobble up a whole bunch of people's time. In that case, I call it a ritual because it's supposed to be done in a prescribed manner, okay? It's a Scrum meeting is supposed to be that stand-up meeting, not a sit-down meeting that lasts an hour. It's supposed to be a 15 to 20-minute meeting where everybody kind of reports out where they're at, asks for help in any way, and you're out the door heading down the road and getting done with your next task. Another ritual is at the end of every Scrum, you hold a retrospective. And the retrospective is a ritual where you look at what you accomplished, because there's usually points assigned to the features that you are going to work on for the particular Scrum period that you're working. And once you get done with those points are assigned, and what happens is as you work together as a small Scrum team, and so when they pull features off the list to work, there's a certain number of points assigned. And the retrospective says, hey, we got done with 9 out of those 10 points. Why didn't we get done with 10? And then the retrospective analyzes why the work went well, what could have been done better, how to make the whole system better. Then you go ahead and the next Scrum period, you're going to choose more features out of there, and you're going to choose, let's say you're averaging 8 points per week. You pull 8 points worth of features off the list to start working, and you reasonably think that after a while of averaging the number of points and doing all the retrospectives repeatedly week after week, that you know how much this group can accomplish as far as points go. And so you just pull that. So that's one of the rituals. Another one of the rituals is how you assign the points. The group that's doing the work assigns the points. And the points involved with this particular group might be a whole lot different than if a member of that group joined another group. In other words, this particular group might value certain work as being higher points than other work. And so the number of points is particular to a group. The number of points that they average each week is particular to the group, and the group needs to work together for a period of time and go through these rituals of pulling features off the stack, off the list, working those, averaging the number of points over several weeks so you know how much work you can accomplish every week, and then you know then how much work you can commit to. Those Scrum rituals that I talked about with assigning the points and averaging the points and doing the retrospectives are akin to the old waterfall method of trying to figure out all the requirements, put together all the schedule, and put together the cost. The thing is, it's broken down from week to week, and it's very much a different paradigm that groups have to get used to. They're not going to be adhering to a schedule that was pre-planned way back at the beginning of the project. The schedule is going to change every single week. Some weeks you might accomplish a whole lot more than you expected. Other weeks you're going to accomplish less. But in the average, you're going to accomplish a certain amount of work. And after a while, when Scrum teams get into this rhythm, they operate and function on a smooth basis. Everybody knows what to expect. They know what is going to be expected of them. And everybody just performs. And it becomes a very enlightening and a very stimulating method to be involved in, because the groups tend to bond together quite well. They begin to get to know that certain people have certain expertise and begin working off of those skill sets to get the work accomplished. Where is the manager's assurance that things are going well? Basically, you can look at a Scrum team and check how well things are going by whether there is happiness and joy in working on what they're working. Has the project manager elevated enough of the concerns to remove the roadblocks? Is the group getting frustrated with roadblocks that haven't been removed? If so, what can the manager then do versus the project manager? What can the manager then do to help the project manager remove those roadblocks? The health of the team really is dependent upon, the cohesiveness of the group, and that is really dramatically affected by whether they can accomplish what they're asked to do in the time frame they're asked to do it without the kind of pressure that you would have in a normal project. And generally they will perform better than a normal project because the pressure is not there. It's mostly a get out of the way. I mean, managers perform no value-added function to a project, okay? Especially if they're not doing the job of getting the difficulties out of the way. If they're not moving away obstacles, if they're not enabling their people, then they're not providing any value-added function. The value add that they contribute to a project simply is, am I making it effective for these people to get good work done? And when that work slows and when the team starts getting frustrated because the work isn't flowing anymore, the manager's not doing his job. Okay? And that might mean that the manager has to take it to their manager because, the proverbial mud is running down the hill, and landing on the programmers down here. And a lot of times that mud starts way at the top when some company executive decides to review somebody's budget and wonders why you're spending so doggone much on this program, and they don't see the value and they don't understand it, and now they want all these reports and they're getting, all this pressure to, perform. Sometimes it's because a manager changed and a new manager comes in and they want to make a good impression. So they're going to save a bunch of money. Well, okay. So sometimes it can, all kinds of political stuff can happen in an organization. As long as the managers understand that you're not building a bridge, you're building software. It's kind of like telling Da Vinci that he's got to stay on schedule and on time when he's painting the Sistine Chapel. How well would that have worked? No, it wouldn't have worked at all. You would have. Can you imagine the less features? Okay, we didn't print this corner because we had to cut the scope down because we didn't have enough time in the schedule. So we have a corner of the Sistine Chapel that's not painted. It doesn't work. Creative people need space. They need to remove the roadblocks. They need to let Michelangelo paint.